Well, then I'm taking off my jacket.
Do you mind if I take off my coat as well? Thank you.
Florida, take your jacket off.
Tell you. You know, I'll start out with a quick story. In fact, a few years ago, when I used to live in Florida, I now live in Asheville, North Carolina. How many of you know where Asheville is? It's a really pretty area. And when I was working in the field, I was at a woman's house and I was providing some coverage. And it was about 94 degrees outside. Humidity was maybe 100. And I walked in and the apartment was completely, basically closed up. And she's sitting at the table and not one bead of sweat is coming from this person. And she was a large person, but not one bead of sweat. So I'm sitting down there and I'm presenting what I'm offering. And I'm starting to sweat. I mean, sweat is not just coming down, it's pouring down my shirt and all that stuff. And I finally asked her if I could be excused. So I walked into the bathroom, I took my shirt off. I'm rinsing myself off in her sink, I'm taking it and just cleaning myself up, grab a towel, dry myself off. I look in the mirror, I say, I can't do this. I just can't do this. So I put my clothes, my shirt back on, I go back out there and I said, well, that's it. And she says, I'll take it. So it's one of those things you learn. You learn. I haven't been on TV, I promise.
In North Carolina.
Yes.
I've seen him. He's talking to you.
I haven't been on TV yet. I'm working on it. How many of you would like to not have to worry how to pay for care? How many of you would like that? Is there anyone that's not concerned about paying for care? It is one of those issues that we would like to unfold with you today. It's kind of like the elephant sitting in the room with us. We know it's there, but none of us want to talk about it. It's just one of those things that is not one of our pleasant subjects. So what my job here today is to help draw out ways of communicating and exploring what possibilities there are. So our conversation, our educational conversation today is cash for care. How many of you would like some cash for care? Yeah, because it's an important area. Because when we don't have cash, we have consequences. And we're going to talk about those and kind of open up the conversation to what that really looks like. My background, I've been doing this type of work, helping people find solutions for over 20 years. And I've assisted people in exploring what the consequences are of long-term illness and some of the solutions for over 26,000 people in my 20 years. So I've been fortunate to be able to have some answers in some very difficult times for people. One of the reasons that I have gotten into the area that I'm in my own personal life, I have a mother-in-law right now who lives in Palm Beach Gardens, who her husband has been on oxygen for 7 years. He has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. He is 79 years of age. She is 75. And the consequences that she faces, she's a prisoner in her own home. And he is too. Nobody wished for it. It's not something he called on, but it's something that happened. And because of that, they had to give up their time, a lot of their finances. Those are some of the consequences that they had to pay. Now they have a son who's been living there. He's 48 years old. He's got a master's degree in everything, except he doesn't work. However, he does provide services, so we are kind of fortunate that he's there. But their money has become to a situation where they can't even afford hurricane insurance. And that's their only resource left. They live in Palm Beach Gardens. Their hurricane insurance is almost $7,000. So as a family member, my wife and I are going to have to look at some of the consequences we may face if their situation deteriorates even further. So again, what we really want to talk about, and I'm going to ask you to be participating with me. I don't want to just stand up here and give you all this information. I'm going to ask you to work with me. Is that okay if everybody works with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, what are some of the consequences you face when you have a long-term care situation arise? What are they?
Money.
Money? Yep.
Unable to pay, same thing.
Okay. Money? What
Time,
else?
how long?
What you just mentioned.
Time?
Confined to,
Confined? Oh, by the way, I know some of you are educators. My spelling is terrible. Okay. I'm used to a computer, so
right.
throw me an E if I need it, or throw me an I. I'll catch it. Okay. What other consequences do we face?
Care.
Care? Let's talk about that a second. Define that for me.
Nursing.
Nursing, meaning finding the people that can provide it,
Or affording the people.
or affording the people. Okay. What other consequences do we face?
Healthcare.
Yes?
I think what this was.
Psychological,
Psychological. Thank you.
the big thing.
PSY.
I put psycho.
Without the H.
Psychological is real important. I'm glad you brought that up. You know, my father-in-law, he has been so used to being independent for so many years. And now he's almost a prisoner. And he has become mean and abusive at times. And you can imagine how trying that is for her every day to deal with. And it's because he can't do half the things he's always wanted to do, and he's so dependent on her. If he leaves the room for 5 minutes, he's got a walkie-talkie, he's calling her immediately. That's the kind of thing that happens.
That's frustration.
Very, right. Frustration. What else? What else do you face?
What about that food and the cleaning and the services?
Services, absolutely. You know, a lot of people take that for granted because, you know, you lose so much. And for some of you that may find yourself where you're alone. And then there's other consequences for that. Let's shift the conversation a little bit. What about the family? What are some of the things the family, what are the consequences the family may have to be challenged with?
All of that.
All of that, yeah. Is there anything else that you could think of for family?
Well, they have to deal with the money.
Finances.
Neglecting their family.
Neglect.
Right.
Right.
Thank you. That I really don't want to gloss over that.
Time.
You know, time. You know, and today, I remember growing up as a little boy that I would be gone in the morning from about 8 o'clock. I'd come home at 5. My parents hardly ever saw me, all the way from when I was a little guy up until about 18 when I left. But anyways, the point is that today I have an 11-year-old daughter. My wife takes her everywhere. She's got this camp, she's got this activity, she's got that activity, she's got swimming, she's got, and all the time that goes along with it. Plus my wife works. And then you add the fact that she's working 40 hours a week, then to compound the idea that she needs to take care of another person. I mean, that is a lot of responsibility. So you can imagine the consequences that they face and the neglect that happens to the family. And in the finances, just in my own case, we have to make a financial decision. I live in Asheville. If their situation deteriorates, I really can't count on a 40-year-old that won't move out. And